Good morning, all. Welcome to Life Made Up of Questions. This session on patriarchy and parenting. We're having Dr. Nalli, a practicing ENT surgeon, then Dr. Kavitha, a psychologist, joining this session. So, welcome both of you. Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So let's start our discussion. It's kind of an open discussion. My concept of discussion is like that. During olden days, we can see when father or a male dominant person like an uncle or an elderly person who is considered like the center of the family, if he is arriving into the room, all will be running away. I mean, till long back in 70s, 80s or 50s and all. Then his wife or will be standing long back in behind a door, and when he is having food, others will not be coming. The children is considering him as a terror. If something is happening, he will be the deciding factor. But we can see during the film, during that time, all these cinemas and all portray a lot of concepts like that in all the regional languages. Then we are having the transformation into the 90s, then 2000. Right now, parenting is like considering child as a friend or discussing day-to-day activities like a friendly manner. So the changes is happening. So this will be our topic of discussion. So I am just giving the thread to you. You can have the discussion right now. Yeah.
So, you want me to start?
Anyone can start. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I think the whole concept of how the patriarchy is like pertaining or related to parenting has a lot of the social economic background majorly added to it. Like I think the most important thing that we need to understand much before we talk about the best and the worst of it, let us understand like how it has started, how it has I mean how it has started, the whole ideology, how did it start. I think, I mean, if we go back to our, if we go back to our anthropological background, men were considered quite strong and women were more emotional, nurturing. And so there was a very clear division of like the gender roles of both a man and a woman. Like, what are the responsibilities of a man and what are the responsibilities of a woman? I mean, in the process of dividing the responsibilities, I think there has been a clear cut distinction on a stronger man is more strict and a stronger guy is more, he can protect the family more or can safeguard the family more. And a stronger person has and even the name is taken on the patriarchy, name is taken on the father, name is taken on the father, and for the simple reason that the person is strong, he is the breadwinner of the family, so the safety, security of the whole family lies with one single person who is the father or the male dominant figure of the family. That is how the parenting, when it comes to a father, that my father is strict or my father is serious, or your father, what will your father say, or boys and girls getting on to the mother first to get something rather than the father. This is how the whole history has started. But I think with the kind of development and with the kind of the equal responsibility being shared by both the genders, both the wife and the husband, I think the very idea that one a person is stronger and the other person is weaker, that whole ideology has disappeared at some point of time in the lane. And then children also, because I think this is something that we have been groomed, we have been parented. Like I think even we can even take my case. I'm definitely a late 70s person. When we take talk about it, we know that mom used to say that your father is coming in, so don't, your father will get angry. When there is a threat or a terror being given to the child or to discipline the child, father's name is predominantly used. So I think that has really changed or changed the shape in the recent years, because both the mother and father are working, and first a woman is not thinking that she's less than a father. I think the whole change has started from there. A woman doesn't think that she's any less than the father, any less than the father. So the very idea of I mean, using the pretext or excuses that father goes wild or father is angry or a person has to eat, all these things have gone, and there is a kind of equality that has been brought up into the families. So the parenting now has become an equal parenting. equal parenting with both the father and the mother. I think to start to set the table around, I think this is what I thought I'll share it.
Yes, Dr. Ramya, coming to you, what is your concept regarding this patriarchy in parenting?
Yeah, actually, I do think that it has not yet stopped in the recent years. It is still prevailing in the society. Yes, there is quite development present in the society at present, but still there is a prevalence. I can see that this will happen. Madam has told that yes, there is a threat. It is like a threat to the childhood, threat to the children. It's a threat when you are saying that your father. I will tell your father. I will tell you. When he comes now, I will tell you. This is how it is happening. But let me tell you is that there is an equal role of the mother also. It's not only the father. There is equal role of the mother also. When the mother considers herself as weak or she cannot handle it, then she will be using that word where the male is dominant male. Then the child will be considering, okay, father is high, okay. There is an inequality present. Then we are subconsciously imbibing into the child's mindset that father is always high, mother, okay, I can approach mother. If not, she will be telling about father. There is a manipulation present. There is a manipulation, mind manipulation. This is called as mind manipulation. So that at one time, there would be like a distance between the father and the kids. For sure, the father and the kids, there will be a distance. And mother, she will be considered cool, but at the end of the day, the threatening also gives the distance between the father and the mother and the child. So there will be distancing between the parents and children when this sort of patriarchy is present. So when there is equal share of responsibility and equally when they are considered capable of parenting the children, then it will not be prevailing. It is not about how you are superior or you are inferior, nothing like that. You have to consider yourself that I can manage my children. That is how we can prevent the patriarchy.
Yeah, of course, coming into this picture, what I'm thinking like that, we can see the patience level as well as the emotional balance of both men and women are quite different. It's quite natural because we know that a mother, because olden days, not only olden days, nowadays also we can see the temperament or the approachability, it differs. And some family we can see son will be given privilege or daughter will be given privilege. It's happening in both the way. In one or the other case, sometimes daughter will be given more privilege and considering son, or let him find his own way. He's a boy, he has to be more into the field, he has to find his way. In some other case, the boy will be given more privilege and the girl will be neglected. Both these scenarios happening still now. Both, whether it's son or daughter, they have to be considered equally protected. This scenario is happening. We can see in older days to nowadays. When a girl got married, also she is still protected by her parents. Always sometimes this will be causing a problem in their life also, like over caring. Similarly, the case of a boy also, if the parents are into him for an over caring approach, the tendency of both the boy and girl is not able to make a self decision. If they're taking a decision, also the parents will be interfering. And there comes in one or the other way, if the mother may be talking more with the daughter or the son. Sometimes the son may be more talking with the mother, not with the father, and the communication gap is coming. Sometimes the daughter may be talking more with the father. So this is happening throughout our country or the world now also, and this is having an instability. So my opinion is that whether it's boy or girl, they have to be considered in the same way. There should not be any partiality, like preferences should be given for a girl or to a boy in a family. It's still happening. I'm not taking boys given more privilege. In some family, girls are getting more privilege, but this should not happen. They have to be considered equally, and they must be given an opportunity to find their own talents in their own way. And parents, both husband and wife, or the father and mother, must be approachable to both to all of them. Yes, as a psychologist, I think Dr. Kavitha can add to it, because I'm just pointing out the psychology and the patience level of the two extremes. What is your opinion regarding this?
Absolutely. Yes, Dr. Harikrishnan. Like, I mean, there is something that I would like to add up here. I think even the parenting style does do play an important role. But I think, except for certain areas, certain rural areas, or certain highly orthodox cultured societies, the distinction is definitely in, as you rightly mentioned, the way they take care of a boy and the way they really give the privileges to a boy or a girl, it definitely differs. But I think with one child syndrome, having come in, where every couple is having just one child, I mean, whether it is a boy or a girl, I mean, they are not really going for, the second child. I mean, they only prefer that they can only go with one child. So this differentiation is also definitely do coming in, wherein they really give so much of effort and love, and they really do spend on the children. But I think the most important thing when it comes to the impact it has on the behavior of the child, it has got more to do with the parenting style, whether it is a boy or a girl, and it is usually adopted from their parents. Like, my mother has treated me like this, so I have to, I bring my children like this, because I only know that. Unless until I feel that there is something drastically wrong with the way I have been brought up, I really don't want to change. I think the parenting style does do play an important role here. As we all know, there are four kinds of parenting styles that we can talk of, when we really talk about it with the psychological perspective. One is this authoritative parenting, where the children and parents sit together to solve the problems. It is more like, both sit together, both move together, both try to understand, and then and a parent only acts as a guiding force. Under this situation, a child develops his or her independence. A child knows how to really sort out a problem. A child knows how to really go about it. And there is another parenting style called authoritarian parenting. That is where exactly, Dr. Harikrishna, like the case what you have mentioned, has come in, where the parents still interfere in child's life even after the marriage, because the child has been made so independent, so dependent on the parents, that the child has lost the ability to take a decision for herself or himself. The child always looks out for a support. It can be in the form of a parent, or it could be in the form of a partner, or it could be in the form of somebody. That is the reason why, we often keep hearing this, this person cannot think on his own, and he depends or she depends on somebody, or she listens to the mom, or he listens to the mother or friends, or whatever it is. It is a kind of a grooming. It is a kind of a style, the authoritarian style, wherein they really depend on somebody to take decisions, because they are not confident. That's the way they have been brought up. And I think the third one is the permissive parenting. Permissive parenting is like, it is totally child driven. As we can say, this is a child, this child is spoiled. We often keep listening to this, right? They say the child is so spoiled that, child doesn't listen to anybody, and the child is like so stubborn and highly egoistic and all those things. This is kind of parenting where both the parents are so busy in their lives that they really don't bother to really look into the child. They feel, we have to feed, we have to give food, that's it, my job is over. There is no emotional connection, there is no emotional way of really involving with the child. So this kind of parenting, the children really turn out to be different children. And the last one is the neglectful parenting, where parents really don't bother anything. They're totally absent in the child's life, like they don't care. And these are the people, like, who take decisions on their own, who think they are right all the time. In a way, like, some children, certain percentage of neglectful children turn out to be narcissists, because they know, like, what they are thinking is right. So I think apart from patriarchy, parenting style also does to play an important role in grooming the child, in making the child a better child. So I think this is something that the parents need to understand. What kind of parenting style am I adopting? Let us say the parents have been brought under an authoritative parents. They have to understand how much I have been struggling, but I was never given an opportunity. So with my children, I shouldn't be that. Or let us say the children have been under a neglectful parenting, where they were not bothered at all, they were not cared at all. That is a lesson I need to learn. I think before the premarital counseling does to play an important role here, where the parent couples have to sit. They have to decide, what was my parenting style, what was your parenting style, and what is the plus and minus of it, and what is that we are going to give to the children, such that we have the best parenting style. I think this is what I like to add here.
Yes, Dr. Ramya, what is your opinion regarding this? Because now, on a psychological point of view, we have heard a lot of parenting methodologies and all. So what is your concept regarding this?
Yes, actually, I want to mostly concentrate on narcissism with patriarchy. Why? Because most of the people with narcissism will promote the patriarchy. Why? Because they want the authority. We are every 30 years, the generation will be changing. Everything, new things, new cultures will be changing. So when my grandmother and my parents, my old, they were given was like if a child is very aggressive, especially this child, he was saying he was strong. And if a lady is aggressive or girl child is aggressive, no, we should not be like that. A girl child should be very submissive and should be saying no, silent, she's good. Then she was labeled good. Yeah, she's a good child. And the male who is very strong, like not strong. In fact, we say that who is having the authoritative leadership qualities, maybe if that leadership qualities are there, okay, yeah, good. And when you are promoting more and more and more of so much of aggression in that male child, then this will lead to narcissism. And he will be thinking that yes, I am the great person in the world and no one is here. And narcissism, see, there is something difference between the narcissism and having a self-esteem and self-esteem. There is a borderline between that. I am only one narcissism, and I am the one along with everyone who can grow together is something normal. This sort of thing, encouraging the child to be the city, you are the superior, you are the great parenting, you are the great. This create the narcissism, and when the child is suppressed, no, you should not be doing. They also will become narcissists. There are different two types of narcissism. They also can become narcissists also due to inferiority complex. Due to inferiority complex, they become. So this is this is how the male, when he is married, when he was raised in that narcissistic family, then he will for sure follow the patriarchy, and he will tell the children to be listen to my words. If not, you're gone. That's what's happening. You have to listen to me. Then how to prevent ourselves from getting this happening? As a child, how we can protect ourselves? You have to start the conversation with your parents very boldly when the father or mother is a narcissist. That is how the boldness comes from the child, and the child has to realize that the environment is different also, different. And the mother, and there is a role of father and mother also. But when they are right in that situation, they have to think about themselves, and they have see no one is permanently same every time. I am not same 1 decade back. I was a quite introvert and I never used to speak before. Now I'm speaking. Same like that, people can anytime change themselves. The only thing is that realization of their psychological conditions. And that is good. Everyone has a psychological drawback. And that realization helps to prevent ourselves from getting into a healthy relationship with the parents or in-laws or children or anyone in the family.
Exactly, because now I'm just thinking about the current scenario and long back. From olden days, we used to tell a story like always there will be a conflict between a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. This is happening from years and years, and it will be prevailing in society. But no one will be telling there's a conflict between a son-in-law or mother-in-law, or a son with the mother or son with the father. Always the two sides, the ladies will be coming into the picture. So in that case, the father or the father will be in a neutral position, or the son will be like a balancing position. So this is happening. This story, we can see the serials or cinemas also everywhere. This concept is being cleared, but nowadays the scenario is changing. I think this is also a case of just our mentality, like in childhood days, when a father is telling something, ultimately the mother will be telling, oh, whether he is right or wrong, everyone must have a concept of ourselves, whether it's correct or wrong. Everyone must have the freedom to express their views. Father, this is not right. This is my opinion. If a son is telling, if the father is shouting, he won't be telling again. or the mother is telling, you are not right, the husband is shouting, they won't tell again. But this culture has to be changed, whether it's a small kid or the elder or younger or whatever it may be. If he or she is telling something, or the wife is telling, or the father is telling, all must hear it, and it must be a group, it must come as an end result of discussion, because at the end of the day, the decision must stand first rather than the individual preferences. So my case, I'm having a sister, an elder sister. We are only 2.5, 3 years difference. We are like friends. I can crack jokes with her. She will be talking. We will be fighting. But at the end of the day, the bonding is strong. But I think the case, the age gap also matters, because if there is a 10 or 15 years age gap, they will be considering, oh, he or she won't be able to play with me. Their mentality will be different. That also plays, because my concept here, my question is that always when a quarrel comes, two ladies, I'm not typecasting it. It's a it's a title tag for a long time, and still now also this is having importance in society. So as a psychologist, this question is towards Dr. Kavitha, because it's related to psychology. Mother-in-law, daughter-in-law. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole issue starts because we need to first understand the mindset of a female, to really answer this question. I mean, generally, women are more emotional than men, and they have, because the emotions play an important role in the decision making than the logic. I'm not saying it, it is in general. I'm not actually labeling it that way, but nowadays things have changed. But I mean, when we talk back like how things are, eventually, when a woman has that emotions, and when she is quite emotional, and when with emotions come the kind of possessiveness, to a bit of possessiveness, and a strong sense of ownership and a strong sense of attachment. So when a girl becomes a wife, she feels the same with the husband. When the wife has a son, and then she gets her son married, when she becomes a mother-in-law, same is the situation. So it is something like, it is my son. I have put in a lot of effort, in the sense like it is a feeling of ownership. I think father also claims ownership, but because females being more emotional compared to the fathers, or to the males, there is little much more ownership. I think the fight starts there. That is one. Second thing being, especially in our culture, we are talking about the Indian culture. Like a son is always considered as an authority, or not an authority, as a right. Son is considered as a right, and this is again the patriarchal system that plays an important role, because when a son gets married, a wife's mother will hesitate to stay at daughter's house for a long time, whereas son's mother doesn't bother. She can stay for a long time. She says it's my right to be with my son. What they failed, and this has come absolutely, it has rooted from the patriarchy, and the reason why there is gender equality, why there is the female feticide, the reasons are all because they feel that if there is a son, I mean, it is like a lifetime till my last breath. Yes, there is an authority I have on me, and I have a right to have on me, and I can just do the way I want. And that's the reason why people prefer sons over the daughters. And I'm not talking everywhere, but definitely in certain areas for sure. So I think when the son gets married, the mother still has a feeling, because that is something that has been hardwired since generations because of the patriarchal society, that my son, my wish and things should go as by what I say, and my son should listen to me than to the wife. What she fails to forget the fact that she was also a daughter-in-law at some point of time. She doesn't remember that. She doesn't remember that the moment the tag is given, she thinks it's an absolute right. It is an absolute right over the son. And there are cases wherein I know pretty well, there are some people, I do keep getting these cases where the mother-in-law plays an important role in really spoiling the relationship between the wife and the husband. And other way also, where the daughter-in-law plays an important role in spoiling the relationship between the wife, because there is a fight, there is a silent fight or an open fight always, because there is an equal ownership. This problem is happening, still happening, only because of the reason that because of the patriarchal society, where I think my son, if I have a son, I have right till my last breath. What they fail to forget is when the son is married, he has a family, so there is an importance that need to be given to the family, to the children. And I think this has to be. And again, I feel that the premarital counseling or the couple counseling is very important before they take decisions, because it can have a long term impacts, and things should be made very clear between the wife and husband. As you said, son keeps quiet because he wants to play safe. He wants to be happy because he can neither hurt the wife nor the mother. So he's very safe bet, and the best way to be safe is to keep quiet without interfering, or looking at the whole scenario as a joke, as if nothing has happened, and rubbing off the shoulders. This is the usual behaviors that you can
One thing I just want to
usual
add, Dr. Kavitha, as you have mentioned, the mother-in-law in the case, it can happen with the mother of the mother and father of the daughter also. They may be also interfering in depth. Now we can see both sides. This can happen. I mean,
This can happen. Yeah,
it's
this
a
can
typecasted
happen.
story where we are telling the mother-in-law or the daughter-in-law. Now it's totally changed. The world is changing. We are also changing. That old concept. We are still thinking on the old concept, but in the other way also can happen. The parents of a daughter is also interfering, or the parents of the son is also interfering. But ultimately, the role players are the husband and wife, because they must take the decision. They must have their own authority or thinking over what others are thinking, whether it's parents or.
That is the reason why I say that the premarital counseling or the discussion is very important with respect to the relationships right before the marriage. Because I think 70s, 60s, 50s people still have a lot of patience, not this late 80s, 90s. They feel chalo, talak, talak, talak. There is a issue that I'm done, you are done. That's it. The divorces are also increasing because of that. And I think there has to be a clear-cut clarification on, like, the kind of parenting, the kind of relationship status, the kind of issues. And as you rightly said, Dr. Harikrishna, I think it has to be more linked into a situation rather than a personal ego or a right of patriarchy. I think if you put it apart and looking at that situation as a decision making needed for that situation, things would obviously
I
change.
think the space has to be given for both the husband and wife.
Absolutely.
If the father of the daughter is telling, "Oh, I am the authority," your husband is not into that picture. I am the first person. The husband is like sidelined. Similarly, the mother of the son is telling, I had seen him long back. I am having more authority."
Yeah,
That space has to be given to everyone. Then only
absolutely.
the drama will be moving, or the characters will be getting a prominent role. So coming to
Absolutely.
Dr. Ramya and Nalli, what is your opinion? Because we are a person always focusing on these typecasted scenarios and the changes and the equality and the, I mean, uh, all these concepts. So what is your opinion regarding this concept?
Yeah, the actually, the mother-in-law and father-in-law is okay, fine. I have seen situations where doctor's life is interfered with mother and father also, as you told. I have seen. And this has all happened due to the parenting only. For sure, due to the parenting only. It starts immediately at the childhood age, when the child is not given the choice of her or his action, means every time depending on the parents, then the parents would be also mindset will be like that, is that yes, my child is still a child, even though he or she has grown up at 50s or 60s or 70s, whatever age, he is a child. Okay, I can accept that. There is a maturity for that. But she is dependent on me, even though she is married. But how long can it be persist? When there is a marriage involved, there is another person involving in this situation. The person is coming from a different background of parenting, and this person is coming from different parenting. Yes, for sure he clashes. Why? Because the person is dependent on the father or mother or in-law or anyone, and this person who is independent, maybe coming from a very healthy parenting, independent, there will be clash for sure. What are you doing? Why what is your age and why are you depending like that? You can't do your own decision making. This is how the fight starts. And Then coming to in-laws, same thing happens. Okay, then my son, see, there is a small attraction between sons and mothers and fathers and daughters. We have to accept that. There's a bonding, some bonding is there. Yes, but the maturity level during this relationship should be maintained in a particular level. Means like when my son is married, I want my daughter-in-law to be treated like me when I am married. My husband should be treated like my son should be treated while I was married, like that. Same way. Then there is a comparison there. Then so you have to give the child the ultimate freedom, not child. When he is married, he is not child. Then he has to give them the ultimate freedom because now he is no longer your child. Yes, he is an individual. He is not a child. He is an individual of his own, not a wife or not the individual who has to manage the relationship between different, because we don't have fights between the family more than outside. We can manage the outside really better than in the family because they know our negatives and positives, our weaknesses and everything. So it is up to the husband to manage the in-laws of the wife, and it is to the wife to manage the father and mother. Whatever, let me tell you, if you are blind, if you don't know the language, let me tell you, if I don't know the language, or I don't know the Kannada, let me tell you. Someone is scolding me in Kannada, I will be like, okay. If I understand that, I will say, why are you scolding me? Come on, like that. If you are understanding that situation, if you are keeping a blind ear to some situations, then you can control the situations. It's like how you react will create the situation. So reaction of things,
I think we are running short of time, just 5 minutes only pending. So just adding one small thing, like we can see when son or daughter is getting into a good thing or a good position or good thing in life, the parents will always take the claim of, this is because he is my son or daughter. If they are failures, they will be telling, oh, he or she is not doing what I was telling. Due to that behavior problem, they lost all these things. But all these cases, that authority or the supportive nature must take place from the parents on the good time as well as the bad time. So I hope that this is an endless topic of discussion when we start. So due to this time limitation, we can conclude it here, and in future also we can have a better discussion. So I convey my thanks and regards to Dr. Ramya Nalli and Dr. GC Kavitha, because it was a quick decision to have a discussion on this sensitive as well as an important topic, which is still in the society. Because both father and mother are important, both husband and wife are important, and it's as Dr. Ramya has pointed out, this is how we manage the situation, and how Dr. Kavitha has pointed out. It is like there are some psychological aspect also and importance of counseling, premarital counseling. With all these things, we can have a better world to live on a harmonious and cordial way. So, on behalf of Life Made Up of Questions, I convey my thanks and regards to both of you for joining this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.